Get your rest, get your rest, get your beauty rest, you beast. You've got the 9 to 5, and I've got the disabled life. Get your rest, get your rest. You have a baby at your breast. That's part of a stolen musical I was writing. I just wanted to sing, and my goal was to sing for as long as I could all day long, and then rhyme at the end of every word, every sentence of that I said. And so it became, and it was a lot of fun. And then the next day, I recorded one about this watcher in my life who would keep track of me. And I understand about needing to be kept an eye on when you're thinking youthful. Let's say you're thinking youthful. You have a fast car, and you think it's a good idea to wear your favorite slippers and go from Albany to Poughkeepsie to go visit family, and maybe they'll give you $5 for gas for the way home. But I just remember saying, I remember sort of sobering up on the way home one night, and because I was doing that, and my family was loving, they were awesome, but I was really taking chances. And I said, I really do need to pay attention, because what if I even were to just simply get lost? How do you say where you are on the highway when you're lost and there's just a strip of road? And like, I'm in between this place and that place. I don't know. And then to have, I heard a voice, and I think it was before I really heard voices. And he just said, well, you look at the mile marker you're on at. I'm like, oh, that's what those are and what they're for. Not everybody takes driver's education, but everybody should. But not everybody does. But everybody should. I'll just always end it on the proper way because I didn't know. And you don't want to be a learn as you go, a highway mile traveler, because I've done that life. And so I started singing, what are mile markers? What are mile markers? Because, no, truthfully, did I receive that message from the ranger station on the way up from, mid New York on the way up to, top of the hill? No. So I'm like, you can't not validate that. Sometimes I hear a voice that is helpful and that it's apart from my own brain, only that my brain is receiving it. But I started to say, I think these men used to be pretty decent, but something along the lines corrupted them, and especially in upstate New York. So I'm not sure what it is. Is it that it would validate that there is a realm called placations, and they went into praycations, and some of them go into play and pray, and then there's another realm that is so much lesser, and people are now being enlightened about these realms when they used to be, maybe very secret for military or paramilitary personnel only. And so we know who they are, and we know the difference between them and the people we're overseeing, for example. So I'm not sure when the corruption started, but when it was perpetrated upon myself, who was a godly woman, I think God finally said, no, not going to do this anymore. So he said to me, have fun with it. Have fun with it. Do not sin. He's not going to accept my sin. But just because I'm disobeying the current law, which is what? I mean, they've legalized marijuana. They're overlooking the dangers of people who smoke K2 and roll your own cigarettes and walking onto a city bus. But they're holding me to the highest level of the law when it comes to busting up a couple of undercover police cars in their lot. And some people are saying, how did you get into our lot? Look, there is no fence. So what does that mean? I'm supposed to be with them, but I wouldn't stomach not even one more than an hour with them if I could see how these people function. So I have a very serious side, and I'm willing to take it up. I'm willing to take it up and say, yo, somebody's got to do something. But I'm made to be derelict. I know I say derelict, but I'm sure I could tie up that loose end and make a square peg fit into a round hole too. These people don't. They don't know how. They're just like, you will do what I say when I say, or it's back in the hole, or it's back in the hole. And I catch them out there. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, they are the brawn. Somebody thought to get rid of the brains and outnumber everybody with the brawn. So it really is, in a spiritual sense, a planet of the apes. And also I noticed there are too many chiefs and not enough Indians, kind of a mentality too. So these things that I said as though I was witnessing them as the very literal meaning of what I was saying. But if somebody were to really say, yeah, that is that kind of mentality in this here administration, is Planet of the Apes. Whereas it used to be horses, where it's like refinement and doing great, and yeah, all right, maybe we now everybody's smoking rock, but yeah, in the 80s it did used to be blow, and so on and so forth. And that's just America's problem. But suddenly it's, oh no, placations is global, and it's like, this girl only knows peace, love, and harmony until you make her mad. Let's have fun with it. No, they're just, so they set me up. I'm set apart. But what pisses me off the most is I can do this wealthy, and I've done this poor, is to be able to create some of the funniest stuff during some of the most shockingly upsetting times. And I credit my brother, Robert William Depp, for that, because I think he said something and I was just like, and that was what it was from then on out. Another funeral? We can acquire good material from this. No, it isn't quite that bad, but we're just like, I mean, after a while, you're just as mad as a hatter, and you're just like, but it's different kind of. It's like, you know each other's language. And so I know I'm put in some kind of a controlled environment, but at this point, they're debating whether or not to kill me. They're debating whether or not to find some false charges to put on me to execute me. And then they're debating whether or not I die of cancer or do this, so that they have this like years worth of my genius work that people can make money off of, and get this languish out of all these youngsters that are like, the story of God's promise is that she didn't like this and then she died. And it's like, they're building their bad little story about all of it, when really it was, I wasn't your chief, I wasn't your captain, I wasn't your lieutenant, I wasn't your sergeant, and I wasn't your superior. I only said, hey, somebody want to do something? And globally they were all like, yeah, F you, you're going in the hole because you outed us. You're outing all of us. I'm like, you mean I can't be bought? In that sense, I can't be persuaded. I told you all the things that persuade me. Maybe an hour.